Get you some money, you're gonna feel different.
Straight up.
You might even, all that other advice I could have gave you, this is the short version. You know, get you a couple dollars, man. You're gonna feel different.
That hustle. Big shout out to SPI, Spotter Low. You know, I'm in the black box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.
I was surprised, like the last time we reacted to one of them, the mini lies of Snoop Dogg videos, it did very, very well. Y'all seem to enjoy that video quite a bit. Since then, I've ran across quite a few with the similar titles, but I stay away from them. I'm like, man, I ain't gonna just keep trying to bleed that, because I was pretty sure if I went right back to it, the numbers was not gonna be reminiscent of that last one. It did a gang of numbers. I didn't want to try to get caught up chasing that momentum. However, I was just listening to another one of these videos in my leisure, and I kind of assumed that it would be repetitive of the last one, reminiscent of the last one, to the point where it wouldn't be worth doing. However, surprisingly enough, it was pretty unique or different in regards to the last one. Of course, they mentioned some of the same things, but there are some things definitely that were not mentioned in the last one. And just the way they go about it, allowing people to, I can describe it or we can get to it, man. It's pretty long, but I'm going to try to keep my comments to a minimal. But let's see, with no further ado, what these cats say Snoop D.O. double jizzle has been up to.
He snitched. He snitched. That trying to say that Suge Knight is the one that murdered Tupac. He told the cops that.
From getting called out for never doing time for the crimes he's been arrested for.
For the street guys know what I'm talking about. There's no puzzle. I mean, if you get a guy that constantly getting in trouble and never gonna come to prison, that's because he's an informant. He's a rat, a snitch.
To twisting stories and fabricating false narratives to paint himself in a...
I just hate to hear Suge say that when he didn't make it to prison until he was 30-something years old, and he didn't make it really from being in the street. So, like, if he want to utilize that logic and if he apply it to himself, it really don't really add up.
Better light.
That's propaganda for the media, bro. That's something that sounds good for the media. You know, I'm the peacemaker. I'm the one that's showing love. I'm the one that's out here, you know, when everybody else is dead, you know what I'm saying, wishing that I could have did something to put the together. When you in fear for your life?
Snoop Dogg might be a household name, but that didn't stop the people you're about to see from calling cap on his BS.
There's something called pacer.com. When you look someone's name up, their number, their whole sensing comes up, their sensing minutes, and right there, when it says sealed, you're a rat. Why are you sealing court documents? Why? Because the government protects their confidential informants.
Whether it's Mr. Seymour checking him for trying to be something he's not.
Man, you're not no gangster, Jack, and you're not no pimp, man.
Or Napoleon exposing the...
I ain't gonna lie, later on, when Don Juan talked and tell us he told Snoop what he told him about not being no gangster, that was a shocking moment.
Manipulative agenda behind the stories from his past.
He's putting his, he's doing this agenda with making it seem like Pac is just this, like the stuff that he's saying would make you think like, did Pac even have a brain? You know what I mean? Like and it seemed like it's just a sly way to keep putting Pac down.
These moments prove that America's favorite Crip might not be as honest as he lets on.
I drove down there to the hospital because I wanted to see my, you know what I'm saying, make sure he was straight. I'm thinking that he was gonna make it.
If Snoop's going around saying he went to the hospital and had a conversation with Pac, that is a flat-out lie. The reason why that was a flat-out lie, Pac had already passed away before Snoop left my house.
So sit back and enjoy the video, because these are the lies Snoop Dogg got checked for. Suge Knight. While Snoop Dogg has spent his career cultivating an image of loyalty and street credibility, Suge Knight had a completely different story to tell from behind prison walls. Speaking directly to the public, he made a claim that would follow Snoop for the rest of his career, that he's been an informant for the federal government. He explained that artists who never see real consequences for their actions are usually the ones working with law enforcement behind the scenes.
When you look at it and you think about it, you see that you watch the news, you follow people's trials, people's court cases, or you follow what you hear. word of mouth, what you hear about the streets. If you hear about a lot of the artists, someone used to be on death row, someone on other labels, you might hear them getting caught with drugs, getting caught with a gun, stab somebody, do those type of crimes. They're not gonna come to prison. One of the reasons they're not gonna come
like Snoop.
Well, Snoop would never come. I mean, Snoop was on, we beat a murder trial for him, but then he was on probation. Then he got caught with 2 ounces of marijuana. Then he got caught with guns. And each time it's nothing. They're not going to violate it because for the street guys know what I'm talking about. There's no puzzle. I mean, if you get a guy that constantly getting in trouble and never going to come to prison, that's because he's an informant. He's a rat, a snitch, And they're more important to the police on the streets than here because they let them know what's going on. They might save their soul by telling on 3 or 4 or 5 other guys. A rat is the lowest you can go. A rat will do anything. If you come from the inner city, you come from the ghetto, and you act off.
It's crazy. Shug went from saying all this to now he in prison talking about who killed, who took what from him, who robbed him. Oh man, he just telling it all.
You'll come to prison sooner or later. If you don't come to prison, there's only a few things, you got to be working with the police.
Reggie Wright Jr. backed up these claims by breaking down how the pattern of Snoop avoiding serious consequences throughout his career doesn't add up.
But in 1998, he's trying to get Suge Knight incarcerated for murder. Not for no bullshit slap or something like that, okay? For murder. By making a statement of that. He told it to some sheriffs. Sheriffs send it to LAPD robbery homicide.
Reggie, do you know what you're saying?
What I'm saying?
I'm just thinking about what you're saying.
That
Snoop, I wouldn't put that jacket on him.
He snitched. He snitched. That trying to say that Suge Knight is the one that murdered Tupac.
That's crazy. I used to be in that room with them 3 cats, but Alex Alonso and Mob James, you'll never see them in the same room doing this again.
He told the cops that he did it. It's in black and white in the police report, dog. That's what got me pissed.
Is that the same police report that you put in your Bomb First video?
Correct.
Okay.
So any of y'all that don't listen to Bomb First or haven't got a chance to check it out, y'all can go. It's pinned up in the comment section. It's really from the sheriff's department to LAPD robbery homicide.
Well, the subject is Calvin Brodus interview, which would be Snoop.
Will be Snoop.
And I guess everything that he was saying to the police.
It's crazy. The reason you won't see them in the same room is because Alex went hard in exposing Mob James for allegedly being a snitch. He's right here actively doing the same to Snoop, participating. He's very, very efficient when it comes to paperwork and things of that nature. But it's ironic. He never, ever, ever speaks on Bone from Anthony from Training Day and a statement he gave against Suge in a murder case. He gave word-for-word detail of what happened that day. Played a big part in Suge getting that time. But Alex is very fond of Bone. So even though he discussed so many other people, he had never speak on Bone's situation, or should I say snitchuation. It was a cold snitchuation.
Correct. Other than showing you that these niggas are studio gangsters, because ain't no real gangster gonna do that. They gonna stand there and fight back. They're not gonna run. They said in the police report that they ran to the area where they knew the police was stationed. It's in the police report. So we ran to this area because we saw y'all earlier and we knew y'all was stationed over here.
There's something called pacer.com. When you look someone's name up, their number, their host sensing comes up, their sensing minutes, and right there, when it says sealed, you're a fucking rat. Why are you sealing court documents? Why? Because the government protects their confidential informants.
Nas. Snoop's told the story of Tupac and Nas's encounter in Central Park more times than anyone can count, always painting himself as a first-hand witness to the drama. According to him, Nas got completely punked out and had to shake Tupac's hand in fear.
Pac had seen Nas in the park, and him and Nas had words, but Nas didn't want none. But Nas had 100 with guns.
Right.
So listen to what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
He just didn't want to
go there
all the way there because we was in New York in Central Park with 100 goons from New York circle us. Pac didn't even see them. I did because I got a gangbang mentality. I seen when they start circling and putting their hands in their pockets while Pac is in this ear telling him, I made a song dissing you, Jay-Z.
Gangbang mentality is if that's the essential element where ain't no gangbanging going on, dealing with some non-gangbangers.
Biggie, and I ain't got no problem with you, Pac. All right, well, if you ain't got no problems with me, when this song come out, you better not say a motherfucking word. I love you, Pac. Shook the hand.
Damn, that's a real one.
That's why I love Nas to this day.
That's a real one.
And Pac walked off. To me, he's like, yeah. And whooped you. I'm like, all right.
so you have no idea.
No clue.
That's insane.
It's the truth.
Right.
And these are certain things that I've been holding on to because they've never been asked.
Right.
But, you know, it's appropriate now to speak on it because it's like this is the right time to say it. So
Nah, what make it appropriate? Speaking on the deceased, bro. A legend. And not coming across factual. No, it's never appropriate to be speaking on a dead legend falsely.
To know the intricacies of what that relationship was. Right. You know, Pac was my friend before he got on Death Row Records.
But when Nas finally addressed the story years later, his version painted a completely different picture.
I heard Snoop told the story a few times, but he had it wrong. He had said that Pac stepped to me, and rest in peace, Pac. But you know, he was in New York, and there was a lot of tension flaring. Right, I think he had got into it with Jungle, my brother, at the award show. I seen him backstage. I'm like, do your thing. He's like, and you do yours. I said, see, I know it's some funny. You know what I'm saying?
It was one of those like side out the neck joint. Like, and you do yours.
That shit that Ebro missed. That's why he expected, anticipated, or assumed the elite was going to rally around him in his new venture when he left the radio station, because he's used to having these type of conversations on the regular. It's a little different out here in these YouTube streets from what I can gather.
Yours, my G.
Yeah. He was about to go present an award, so he really couldn't turn around and get with me and talk to me, but because he's about to walk on. But I'm walking backstage and I see him and I'm like, yo, all right, do your thing. He's like, and you do yours. Because he knew where I was coming from really wasn't an all love place, because there was a rumor of Machiavelli coming out. And so I was really want to check the temperature with him. And but it turned up, my brother and them, they seen them in Outlaws, and shout out to the Outlaws, man. So at that point, and it was necessary for us to address the situation because they was in the city, and we had to step to our business. And
so there was a little bit of tension for real in real life. It wasn't just a rumor. It was
a lot of tension. It was a lot of tension. They was in New York, and it was, you know, their chest was out. They was doing their thing, Death Row sign. So we had to go and step to them.
And was there a real conversation between you two that quelled it?
Oh yeah, we had a great convo, man. He was like, you know, he explained that he thought I was dissing him, and he thought, and not on the song The Message, you know what I'm saying? He thought I was dissing him, and I heard that he was dissing me at clubs. And
straight out of the gate, he thought the fake thugs, no love, right? The first line of The Message? Wow, I never even knew that was a thing.
Last person I was even thinking about when I wrote that record, just right, I was just going. I was like, well, I heard you was coming at me. I said, no, that wasn't about you, but I heard you was coming at me, and, you know, back and forth. And it was like, yo, Nas, we brothers, man. We're not supposed to go through this. And I was like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, so we had a plan to squash it in Vegas. So I was out there when he was in the hospital, and, praying for him to come through. But, you know, rest in peace to Pop.
The situation got even more embarrassing for Snoop when Napoleon came through with his version. He was apparently standing shoulder to shoulder with Tupac, and according to him, Snoop wasn't even close enough to hear what was being said, which makes his detailed retelling of the conversation impossible.
I don't recall Snoop being there. The situation didn't go down nothing the way Snoop said it. You know, Pac wasn't cursing out Nas. We gonna keep it 100. Pac wasn't disrespecting Nas at all. None of that happened, bro. It was a mutual respect thing. We was deep with 30. We were strapped up. You know what I mean? We in New York. You gotta realize when you out of town, bro, you can never be more deeper than the people from their own state. Nobody was backing down. Nas was deep. You know, he had all his homies there. We was deep. We also had dudes from LA, from Compton.
But with him having New Jersey niggas and Pac originally being from the East Coast, if he knew Biggie and them already, what about the other niggas he knew that he was still tight with? He had the potential of being pretty deep, because Death Row was deep as well. They brought a lot of planes to you.
Then we had armed security there. But of course, when you're in New York, Nas, I'm sure his boys are strapped up, you know? So when Pac and Nas met each other, it was nobody talking disrespect from both sides. Maybe the people behind Nas and the people behind Pac was mean mugging, saying certain things, but Pac and Nas handled it like real gentlemen, real, you know what I mean? Real respectful. It wasn't like Snoop said that Pac was like, to Nas, I do this and do it. It was none of that. It was really talk like, look, bro, what's the misunderstanding? Nas was like, bro, I never diss. I got love for you. Pac was like, I got love for you. I never wanted us to go through this situation. And then Pac literally told him, he said, look, I got songs dissing you. When I go back to LA, I'm going to remove every verse that I mentioned your name in. But Pac couldn't do it because he passed away. So it wasn't like, you know what I mean? Pac was trying to disrespect Nas. It definitely wasn't the way Snoop said it. Why you?
Body left the hospital, took 5 like me. You live in fantasies, nigga. I reject your deposit. We should Dre punk ass. Now he out of the closet. Mob Deep wonder why nigga blow them out. Next time grown folks talking, nigga, close your mouth. Beat me. I take this war shit deeply. There's seen too many real niggas fall to let you bitch niggas beat me, Puffy. Let's be honest, you a punk and you would see me in gloves. Remember that shit you said in the vibe about me being a thug? You can tell them people you roll with whatever you want, but you and I know what's going on. Payback. I knew you bitch niggas from way back. Witness me strapped with Max. Knew I wouldn't play that. All you old rappers trying to advance. It's all over now. Take it like a man. And it's looking like Larry Holmes, flabby and sick, trying to play ahead on my shit. Can eat a fat. Let it know that's how you made me. Loving how I got these niggas crazy. Go against all odds.
Putting that spin on it. You know what I mean? What Nas and Pac did that day, you know, for dudes from the hood, they showed us that it can be done without going to, you know, we come from the hood. We think everything should be settled with violence. You know, they was older than us. They showed us, look, bro, you don't always got to go to violence. We, you know, we just handle it. They shook hands, hug. So I think
older than us, but they trying to call the dudes that were Tupac age at that time, the YNs now. Ooh, just think about that.
That was one of the most positive things that ever happened in hip hop. You know what I mean? It was beautiful, but it wasn't like Snoop said.
Napoleon's testimony of the situation just goes to show that Snoop has his own agenda when retelling certain stories.
I don't remember Snoop being there. Definitely. I don't remember Snoop being there at all. And everything he said, it shows that he wasn't there. He's putting this, he's doing this agenda with making it seem like Pac is just this, like he the stuff that he's saying will make you think like, did Pac even have a brain? You know what I mean? Like and it seemed like it's just a sly way to keep putting Pac down. But he also said like, cause he's a gang member, this is his words, you know what I mean? Similar to—
Yeah, cause I got a gang bang mentality, but Pac studied Machiavelli, the art of war, and things of that nature, 48 laws, and somehow he felt like his gang bang mentality had him more ready for combat than Tupac, when he also got on the same internet, told a testimony about a nigga from Hoover being in his hood, firing on him, and he broke and ran. East side.
I'm a gang member, and Pac and Nas really gave Pac like a pass, and I'm sitting back and I noticed, no, he said, no, bro, Nas really punked you, something like that, you know what I mean? Once again, bro, we was wild Jersey dudes, you know what I mean? We understand threats. You ain't the only one that's from the hood or from the street that understand threat. We understand threats. Pac understand threat. We know if it was a situation out of control that we was in danger, we would have did whatever it takes to be protected, protect ourselves. You know what I mean? So once again, none of that is true, bro, because it was actually a good thing. Like, why take something negative, positive, and make it, and just gotta put that dirt on it? From that day, like the respect level that I had for Nas, it just was like, man, this dude, you know what I mean? He walked up to Pac, like, and this, you know, it was the respect was there.
Biggie. Snoop always presented his relationship with Big as one built on mutual respect and genuine friendship, even sharing detailed stories about smoking with him in the studio after Tupac's death.
Did you ever speak to Biggie after the day of that shoot?
I spoke to him twice. The first time was after Tupac died, and I was in Atlanta, and I seen Lil C's in the lobby at the Omni Hotel. So I see C's in the lobby, I say, C's, what Biggie? I want to holler at him. He like, he upstairs. He want to holler at you too. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to come upstairs and holler at him. You grab my weed, get my weed. C's take me upstairs. Biggie is upstairs in a walker, like what the old people walk around in. He got the little walker sitting at the edge of the bed. And when I walk in the room, we start talking. And then he looked me.
He posted out love for Biggie, right? Ain't nobody had that picture of Biggie in their head. He wasn't injured. He that big. He needed an old people walker to get around. He was that fat and sloppy. And damn, why'd you have to share that? That's what I'm saying. I guess it's appropriate to speak on the dead and say things that are not favorable. Nobody has that image of Biggie looking like Dave Blunts, but now we do, thanks to Snoop, his partner.
in my eyes, and he say something that, you know what I'm saying, like he's sad that Tupac is dead, but I can look in his eyes and I can see that he hurt. He didn't even have to say it. I could see that he hurt behind Tupac being dead. This is his friend that's dead, that they had a misunderstanding and he could never get no justice for his emotions, but he's showing me his emotions. But let me continue. After we break bread and smoke weed, I leave him with some weed and I tell him I love him. And I'm like, I'm gonna give you my number. Holla at me whenever, you know, whoop whoop. And you know, when you on the West Coast, holla at me and I'm gonna holla at you when I'm in New York. I go to New York probably about 3 months later. Biggie hit me up. Hey, come by the studio. We got 5 studios pop. Daddy's house or some shit. I'm like, all right.
He go all out of his way to be cool with these New York niggas, but for some reason in his feelings about the LOEC, shame on you, cuz. You don't keep it crippin', cuz. You get all these accolades for this keywayism, and you know you foul with the low East Side Crib.
And I'm coming. I go to the studio. He got like 4 rooms. He got Easy Mo B in the room, Premier in the room, and he got Stevie J in the room and some other motherfuckers in the room. And then he in one room with like about 30 motherfuckers in there, all army fatigues and beanies, and they smoking some bullshit ass weed. And I come in with that thing that killed John Wayne. So I pull my weed out and change the temperature in the room. So Biggie at the board, he like, hey, check it out, hold on. Hey, Snoop, I want you to hear this shit. And the mother push play, and he play that song where it say, dreaming of Learjets, mansions, and coupes, and trying to sell records like Snoop. Oops. And the whole room was like, oh. It was like him letting me know in front of all his homeboys, I f with you, I love you, and I ain't gonna never have a problem with you. So from that day forward, me and his situation never was a situation to begin with, but we had that understanding.
But you don't keep it like that with Crippin' though. If you don't knock it off.
Standing that's all in the game of
we spoke like men at that peace conference, cuz. Keyway. Then I had Reese get at you, cuz, a couple years ago, and the word I got back was that shit about your mama that I said, cuz, that we spoke face to face, man to man about. Then we had so many interactions since then. That shit was El Bunko.
War. You feel what I'm saying?
But Gene Deal wasn't having any of it. He called Snoop's version of events straight up propaganda, pointing out that the stories he tells about Tupac and Biggie are only to make him look like the good guy who wanted to be friends with everyone.
That's propaganda for the media, bro. That's something that sounds good for the media. You know, I'm the peacemaker. I'm the one that's showing love. I'm the one that's out here, you know, when everybody else is dead, you know what I'm saying, wishing that I could have did something to put the shit together. Wasn't you in fear for your life because you put your cover over your head with your fork in your hand because you wanted to, you know, because you was riding on a plane with Pac, and if it was all that love, you wouldn't have to do that, right? When it's the same love that when Pac actually was going to Vegas and the whole 9 yards, and he didn't say nothing to you, or he said some slick shit to you, or whatever, this, that, and the third. It wasn't all that love until Pac was dead. Wasn't Big out at California 3-4 weeks, and Snoop never saw him? Snoop never came to smoke nothing with him? Snoop never came to eat nothing with him? But it was a whole lot of love? Come on, man. Shit just don't add up.
Gene went even further, revealing that Biggie was actually ignoring Snoop's calls when he first got to California and never trusted him the way Snoop wants people to believe.
What picture you see with Snoop and Big while they was out there? What restaurant they went to meet up? Where did they get together and smoke? Big like to smoke, Snoop like to smoke. When did Snoop come over to the studio and smoke one L with him? Let's keep it funky, Art. Come on, man. You want this shit, I'm gonna give it to you. Big got in that studio and said, I don't know why this Snoop's calling me. I'm not telling this where I'm at. I didn't make that shit up. Do you understand me? What they say in the public, what they say on camera and film, I may be wrong of saying the shit they say behind the scenes, but I'm saying it and I'm holding truth to it. It's from my mouth to God's ear. This Snoop keep calling me, but I heard that in Miami. This came out Big's mouth. So is that your man Pots and Pans that you in his town for 2 months? Y'all don't go get a burger? Y'all don't smoke no weed? Because if it was Puff, y'all would have went shopping.
Tupac.
We kept getting a whole bunch of calls and pages. Somebody told us to turn on the news, and we turned the news on, and we seen the little shit. I drove down there to the hospital because I wanted to see my, you know what I'm saying, make sure he was straight. I'm thinking that he was gonna make it. I said a little prayer to him in his head and held his hand and whispered at him, you know, said my piece with him. You know, he didn't have no consciousness, but I felt like my spirit and his spirit connected, and I felt like he got it.
Now, this nigga cannot be lying with this. Watch how these other stories go against his claims, but it sounds so authentic, genuine, and believable. God damn.
Recent interview on The Art of Dialogue, Snoop was allegedly caught in another lie, trying to fabricate a false narrative of the moments right before Tupac's death.
If Snoop's going around saying he went to the hospital and had a conversation with Pac, that is a flat-out lie. The reason why that was a flat-out lie, Pac had already passed away before Snoop left my house. Snoop came to my house, and he didn't volunteer to come out there. I called and told him, get your ass out here right now. He came to my house first. Tupac's mother was at my house. We walked back by the behind the two pool houses, guest houses, and we had the conversation that I said last time. Snoop didn't throw up in no hospital. Snoop threw up in my backyard by the guest house, the pool house. Pissed me the f*** off. The thing he said about he was gonna name, if it's a boy, after Tupac, he said that in front of me and Tupac's mother at my house. For anything outside of that, who knows what he did when he left my house. But if he went to go visit Tupac, Pac was already gone. And he didn't have no conversation with Tupac. And if he would have had I don't believe he went there, because every person went to go visit Pac. It's pictures, it's footage, no matter who went. I had never seen any pictures or footage.
He got tubes in him, and it's like, when I walked in, I could just feel like he wasn't even there. And I fainted. Then his mother, got me up and walked me in the bathroom and had a conversation with me.
Who could tell this much of a lie? This is a bold lie. If he lying, he a cold nigga. Throw a nigga mama in the lie.
Me about being strong. She was like, my baby ain't never seen you win.
Only person I've seen just tell a lie that bold without blinking, thinking, winking, or even drinking. He don't be smoking, nor do he be joking.
So Spider looks at me because we go back to the juvenile side of the county.
What the? Cold liars, Roger.
I don't want you to be weak in front of him. You go in the bathroom and fix yourself up, and you go back in here and you talk to him and you tell him how you feel. My baby loves you.
Snoop and Tupac was not on great terms. What I would say, if you did all these things and you care about the homie Pac that much, like I said before, when he got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, why you or no one else came? When you put out an album, or when we put out two unreleased Tupac albums and Machiavelli, why you don't have a verse on none of those songs? Because that's a big deal if you love the man like you say you do. I wish it's not true that you didn't have, your hands weren't involved with the assassination of Tupac. And you know and I know you're not going to go to prison and jail. You would never go. All you guys got a report with the authorities. Now, you with the rat.
Snoop the Pimp. Snoop's always been open about his time pimping, often telling the story with a sense of pride and nostalgia about the lifestyle he lived for.
Watch out, is this why he ain't really around Don Juan no more? Look how Don Juan served him.
2 years straight.
I dreamed of being a pimp, like my whole life. Like that was all I seen as a kid, was a nigga with his nails done. He had a light blue suit on with 7 big.
We can't act like we didn't just hear that.
What the hell? Oh my God, no way.
That's how we ended up having the French tip crib.
Bitches, and they all had on baby blue like him. He had a baby blue Cadillac. When he jump out, they open the door. They go set it up for him, bring him money. He ride up on us, call me to the car. What's up, Slim? Break me off a few dollars. Let me sit behind the wheel of his Cadillac, turn the steering wheel, put his hat on, and look up at him like, man, I want to be like you. You understand what I'm saying? So when I was finally able to do that, to really say, man, I'm finna really jump off into this pimping shit. These bitches really like me, and I really feel like I got the pimping in me. So with disrespect to my wife and my everything, I went on a pimping binge for about 2 years straight, like for real. Real hoes, real pimping, but I fell in love with a bitch. That's why I had to do a movie called Bossing Up, because the first rule of pimping is thou shalt not love a hoe. And I fell in love with a hoe, which was compelling because I wasn't the only pimp and I wasn't the last pimp to fall in love with a hoe. I was just the first pimp.
Every time I'm talking about something they did, gotta talk about what somebody else did. No, talk about what you did. Not what no other suckers did. Talk about the sucker you was.
Tell a story of a pimp falling in love with a hoe.
But the way he's told that story over the years hasn't always lined up with the accounts of the people who were actually there guiding him.
One day, Snoop, man, he come there with a cape on at the player ball, which he bumped a few Bishop girls, and took them home, man. And I said, hey, man, we just accept it as the game.
Wow.
But, you know, I told him, I said, Snoop, man, you're not no gangster, Jack. And you.
Wait.
What the hell? Oh, my God. No way.
Not the dog pound gangster himself, the DPGster. Told him what?
You're not no pimp, man. Wow. He said, why not, man? He said, who said I wasn't? I said, man, I've been in this game a long time. Man, why would you wait till you get rich and leave your wife, man? Why would you leave her? Y'all got a lot of money together, but you got a beautiful wife, man, and beautiful family. Man, go back home to your wife, man.
Oh, that ain't Don Juan. He was just saying he bumped some of Don Juan female, just another player. What is this Don Juan?
This game is not for everybody. This game is not for you, man. If you hang around pimps or whoever you hang around, players or whatever, you gonna pick up some ways. So Snoop just picked up some ways when we did the PIMP with 50 Cent.
I remember.
Man, we made them brothers. But Snoop Dogg, I said, man, go home, man. Go home to your lovely wife. He went home. He said, man, thank you.
Whether it's Napoleon claiming Snoop wasn't at the meeting.
He told a nigga, thank you for finally telling me I ain't no gangster. That is crazy. He'll never tell that story. Why Snoop Dogg don't get up on these platforms and say, yeah, you know, Don Juan told me, man, you ain't no gangster. Go home. I took my non-gangster ass home.
Between Tupac and Nas or Gene Deal exposing his actual relationship with Biggie, these moments prove that even legends get checked if they ain't coming with facts. So what do y'all think? How much of Snoop's stories are capped? Let us know in the comments.
I think it's obvious, bro. That was a well put together piece, man. Snoop Dogg is a lying fraud, to say the least. That's on the East.
Get you some money, you're gonna feel different.
Straight up.
You might even, all that other advice I could have gave you, this the short version. You know, get you a couple dollars, man. You're gonna feel different.
Hey, with that hustle. Big shout out to SPR, Spotter Low. You know, I'm in the black box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.